Wife left me 2 weeks after marriage, and I don't understand. It's destroying me. Story of my wife, who left me 2 weeks after getting married and sued me for divorce and accused me of rape and wanted $20,000 in settlement. But it's not your typical gold digger who wanted money story. No, no, no. This story isn't like that at all. It gets weird. I am still very much puzzled, and I would like to know what you think. This is how I ruined my life. I am a Korean American who grew up in the US, and I spent my 20s in South Korea teaching English, and I met a girl, cute little Korean girl. We worked in the same building for about a year, just as friends, and then we began dating. We got married after 3 months of dating. Guam was our honeymoon, and we got an apartment in Korea and started to live together. I remember a lot of giggles and countless hours just hugging each other on the bed, feeling each other breathe. It was wonderful. 2 weeks after the wedding, one day my wife returned from grocery shopping and she just went batshit insane. Her face was slightly red and she started to scream at me and threw the groceries all over the floor. This sudden escalation was so unprovoked and uncharacteristic of her normal behavior. I was just completely flabbergasted. Like, what the fuck? It was so random and shocking that I wasn't feeling angry at all, but immediately started to suspect there was something seriously wrong. Hormone issues. I don't know. I tried to calm her down as best I could, and I called my mother-in-law, Mei Xie. From now on, Mill immediately called my wife, and they talked for a good hour alone over the phone. And then Mill called me again and told me to send her back to Daegu where my wife's family lives. She told me that my wife is sick and needs to go to the hospital in Daegu. I told her that I will take her to the big hospital near where we are, but then Mill freaked out and told me not to do that and only bring her to Daegu where she knows a good hospital. My wife wanted to go to Daegu as well, so I drove her back. She seemed a lot calmer, so I dropped her off and drove back and went to work the next day. There was absolutely no contact over the next 2 days. I called my wife Mill, father-in-law, from now on, her brother, grandparents, but nobody answered my call. This zero communication was just so frustrating, so I just drove to Daegu again to see what the fuck was going on. When I arrived, Mill and Phil both let me in, and they had me sit down with them. And they began to tell me that my wife is now very mentally ill, and she needs long-term treatment. For some reason, I did not suspect this answer. I just thought this was just some sudden stress-induced tantrum that can be seen from some women going through life changes, sort of like how even good girls can turn into bridzillas during wedding prep.